again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your first match reaction show of the season. How are we all feeling after that one? Ipswich Town 1, Birmingham City 1, or rather Birmingham City 1, Ipswich Town 1. I want your comments this evening. Please do get all your comments into the live chat, or if you watch it on catch up, FTA, comment for that algorithm. Chris Boyd says, wow, Premier League has killed us. A shadow of a former selves, even at this level, physically bettered all game in the entire league. Now knows it's Ipswich can't handle a full press. Second best all game. James says that was a hard watch. That was a hard watch. Sharon is happy with it. Andy says just so disjointed. Whatever you're feeling this evening, do let us know. When the penalty was awarded, I turned and said to Mrs. L, quick, get the car started. Let's get back down the A14 with this point, because it felt like a little bit of a robbery, if I'm honest. It felt like we got a bit lucky. And we are pleased to announce, if you want to get lucky, we have got a new partner with us. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. That's right, Match Bingo are back. Bingo transformed. Match Bingo ingeniously combines the excitement of live sport with the thrill of bingo to give you a brand new way to enjoy live sport. Your card has 15 random events from a live football game, free kick, corner, possibly even a penalty. Watch them automatically marked off as the match unfolds. As I always say, over 18s only. Please, whatever you do, be gamble aware, and you can scan the QR code on the screen in a second, or hit the link in the description. Now, joining me this evening, I've been on holiday. I ain't got a clue where I am, and I've just watched that, is Mr. Lee Anderson and Curtis Yates. Welcome in, gentlemen. How are we? Are we pleased the season's back, first and foremost?
I'll let Lee.
I think we both agree that after that, no. I think we probably could have done with another couple of weeks off, I think. But yeah, that wasn't great. But I suppose generally, yes, it's great to have the football back, albeit on a Friday night. But,
well, this is it. Absolutely, right? It's great to have the football back. I said it's a bit of a lucky point. Curtis, what are you thinking?
It was, wasn't it? We had no shots on target for 92 minutes, and then we got a penalty at the end. I mean, if that doesn't scream lucky point and a bit of a robbery, I don't know what does. It was just I don't know whether it was a mixture of Birmingham being very good and us being very poor. But it just, I felt like it just seemed a bit disjointed for a lot of that game. A lot, not many connections within the team, which is very surprising considering we know how well they can play. But yeah, I mean, it's hard not to feel like a bit of a robbery. But I mean, I'll tell you what, if you can take a point when you've been rather bad away from home, I'll take it. I'll take it at the very start of the season. At least we didn't start off with a loss.
This is it. And Curtis, though, he says about, looks a bit disjointedly, which is surprising considering we only had, one new player starting today in Matasiwa, really. Everyone else was here last season, whether they were starters or not. They were all here last season. So what do you put the disjointedness down, if you do agree with Curtis, that is, of course. What would you put that down to?
I do. We were disjointed because we didn't have any connection through the midfield, did we? There was no connection there, and when a Cajusta's in the side, that's going to look completely different. But I think it's a culmination of lots of things. I think, let's not take away where we've just gone, what the momentum, where they've been. The stats came up. They didn't lose a game at home last season. They've got new players in the side as well. But we're away from home. You can see them, their fist pumping throw-ins and tackles and stuff like that. So I think they had that extra 5%. You could see that in them, I think. And I think because we couldn't control the ball, we then chased it quite a lot. But I guess we were lucky to get the penalty at the end. It was a penalty by the law. But I sat there through the game thinking, well, Birmingham have had a lot of play, but it's all been in front of us. How many times did they get behind us? The goal was, I guess you could say, lucky in the end. It's come off the post, but we had some good chances as well. There's the fact that they just weren't on target. Smodics had a good chance where he could have scored. So, yes, they dominated the play. Yes, we were under the cosh a lot of that. But they didn't really, I don't think they really hurt us compared to what the stats say. But once they got the goal, it was always going to be difficult. But credit to people like Broadhead coming on, who, he's looking for a move, comes on and plays. So things like that. But you can see the bench. You can see when there's 4 players on that bench, that are not going to be here probably come the end of the transfer window. So we didn't have a lot to bring off. Yes, we've got some injuries, but yeah.
This is it. Yeah, we've got Trevor says you lot got away with that disallowed goal and a very dubious penalty.
No, that's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. That's a penalty. That's a free kick. He's jumped up in the air and he's knocked him in the back. He's no attempt to, if he's on the ground and he's got feet on the ground and he's leaned into him, fair play. He's jumped up, both feet off the ground, side on, knocked him in the back. That's a foul. I don't know what else is.
Curtis, did you see it as a foul?
I mean, it's one of them. I suppose by the laws of the game, you'd probably say it is very light contact. But then again, I mean, that referee today was willing to give anything as a foul. So by the letter of the law, it is a foul. Like, I mean, they can say that we got let off with it, but it is a foul. There is contact, and I mean, why not make a meal out of it? If a player touches you, you make a meal out of it. If you're under the cosh a bit, get it done. It quietens the crowd down. I've got no problem with it. And it was a foul. It was a foul.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think it's because he didn't make a meal of it. And look, listen, if it was the other way around, I'd be screaming. I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs because, you know, it does look a very harsh decision to award the free kick, not award the goal. But then, on the other hand, we always talk as football fans about we don't want to see players hit the deck. We don't want to see players make a meal of a thing. And then when the player doesn't make a meal of it, doesn't hit the deck, like Greaves didn't hit the floor, we go, oh, that's a harsh one. Oh, so, you know, what do we want as football fans? Players consistently falling over when they feel a touch? Or, you know, in this instance where, yeah, there probably is a little bit of a coming together. But because he doesn't go down, it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as perhaps it is at full speed. It doesn't take much at full speed to knock a player off balance. So it's one of those, and I can see both sides of it. But if it was against Ipswich, as in if it was George Hurst going through on goal, I'd be screaming right now on this show. But as it wasn't, I think it probably was a foul. Chaplin knits the team together, says Hamish Curtis, in the number 10. Better than any other player we have. He should be a starter. The three behind Hurst today played like strangers. What are your thoughts on that from Hamish? And, of course, on Sammy Smollett? He had a great opportunity. He was handed the ball by the Birmingham goalkeeper, didn't hit the target. But I actually thought he was a busy player today, Sammy Smollett. And his danger is, well, we all know about his danger.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, I suppose. At first glance, I was wondering why Smollett didn't put that loose ball on target. But then when you saw the replays, I mean, 2-3 Birmingham players got back. You still got the keeper to get past, and it was at a bit of an angle. So in fairness to him, it was a lot harder than what it actually seemed. But he was here, there, and everywhere. But I do agree with what was behind our striker there. He just wasn't working. I thought Matasiwa, I thought he had a very rough game today. He was good in parts, but don't get me wrong. But I do feel like without a good, steady partner next to him, and I don't think Jack Taylor is that partner. I think the game can go by him a bit, because I do think our midfield was getting a bit walked through, and I was actually wondering when Matthew was going to come off. So to see Humphreys come on then at about 85 minutes, I was a bit happy with that, because I just felt like midfield wasn't it today. Which again, it won't be, because the midfield isn't completed. It's not a completed midfield, and therefore that will change. And who knows, when you've got a player who, I mean, if I'm right, he has played alongside Kayus. So again, there's already a relationship built there. And again, I wouldn't have put Jack Taylor as a starter in my championship team, especially one that is gunning for autos again. But like I said before, there was just that lack of cohesion from midfield to the striker up top, and it showed. It showed really. I can't really. I mean, like Lee was saying before, in regards to actually clear-cut chances on both ends. I mean, I bemoan the fact that we didn't test their keeper that much, but again, I don't think our keeper was tested. But bar their high and wide shots. It was very much in front of play, but I just felt like overall it really was a rough game, and I felt like Matasiwa, I think he'll grow into it because I was a little bit disappointed with that tonight. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was a little bit disappointed tonight. A little bit.
Were you disappointed, Lee? Because I've been in the privileged position where I've not seen much of any pre-season because I've been fortunate enough to be with my family on a holiday, and this is my first real showing of Matasiwa. And I said in the Discord at halftime, once he gets up to the speed of the Championship, he's going to absolutely boss the division. And I thought actually second half he was transformed from where he was in the first half in terms of how quickly he was on the ball, first touch away. And I really saw him grow in the game, Lee. And I was really impressed with Matasiwa. I hear what Kurt was saying, but how did you see his debut performance in the league today?
I sort of agree with Curtis, really. But again, the point you made about growing into the game and the pace. There was a couple of tackles we made where he got his foot round the ball, and they were brilliant tackles. But he got caught a couple of times in possession. So I think there's a lot for him to learn there in the speed of the Championship. So I think, as you both said, I think as the season goes on, he'll get a bit sharper.
He'll definitely come. He'll definitely come.
Yeah,
there's a top player there.
Yeah, he'll be streaks ahead of what we've had before, I think, once he's up and running. But I think also second half he got more of the ball because once Birmingham was scored, they did sit back a little bit. That intensity went out of them. So that was, if they were going to score, I think, score early in the second half, give us time to recover. But when he got a little bit more space, you could see, he can control the play a little bit better. But as my lad said, there wasn't either of them two that played tonight. They can't break the lines very well. It's not what they are. When you've got Kajus could do it, Morsey could do it, to be fair, at times. He's got that little turn. Very rare does he get caught in possession with a player coming from behind him. He's got his elbows out, his arse out, and all sorts. So I think there's definitely a player there, and the midfield's going to get stronger. But we need probably at least one more midfielder. I wonder if there'll be two.
And then this is the question, and this is the conversation in Discord, and obviously Kev in our comments here says Mr. Ashton and his team needs to have responsibility, and are lucky to get away with that tonight. And I've been, like I say, a little bit removed from the pre-season, and we are a little short in places, which isn't going to be a newsflash for anybody who's been following it, day in, day out. But you've got no real second striker at the football club at the moment. You've got two midfield players, and tonight they both got yellow cards, and you're thinking, okay, how are you going to affect this? Both not only in a positive in changing the game, but equally in managing the game, because they're both on yellow cards. And let's be honest, who knew what a tackle was tonight? Because some were being given when they weren't, and some were being given when they were. So you're short there as well. And I'm surprised at that, as we kick the season off. Are you surprised at it, Kurt? Are you right? Do you agree with Kev here that Mr. Ashton, needs to take responsibility for it, but also quicken up a little bit? Do we need to now get these bodies in? Saints up next, Bromley in the cup, of course, not to be overlooked. But where are you on this sort of squad discussion?
It's not for lack of trying, I would imagine. We all heard the news about at Hackney. We obviously chased him for a bit. We put a bid that was accepted, and then down to the player then rejected us. That's just life, unfortunately. I don't think it's for lack of trying. We were by all accounts chasing Kayus all summer, and luckily that one's actually paid off. So I wouldn't say it's for lack of trying. And you've got to remember, the signings that we have made, they have been very shrewd. Like the Ashley Young one, for all the mocking that some opposition fans do, for a 40-year-old player. Tonight, in fairness to him, I thought when he came on, I thought he was really, really good. Cedric Kipre, I don't know whether he'll be a starter in the team at any point. However, I think again his reputation comes with him, and I think he'll be a good signing. So I think it's not for lack of it's not for lack of trying. It's just also you've got to remember we're a newly relegated team. Teams will know we've got a bit of money about us, and you're risking overpaying. You're risking overpaying for the wrong player, and other teams will know that. So I'm sure there will be a lot of business still to come for us. But there's no point overpaying for players this early. Well, I know I say this early on whilst the season started, but I think we've done well so far for what we can do. For what we can do. We've just got to ride the wave. I don't put anything on Ashton and Co because they've not really got it wrong in the time that they've been here, and I'm sure they won't this season. But just ride the wave; it'll come good. It'll come good.
Any update on Akpom, Lee? I mean, what's going on with this transfer? Because
I think McKenna said pre-match that it's not all. He said it's not all done yet, but he said he's hopeful of concluding it soon.
I was on a beach 3 days ago, Kurt, and I was thinking this is done and dusted. I was thinking about, by the time I get back, we'll have another centre forward in the building. Happy days. And Lee, I've arrived back to England this afternoon, and we still don't have one.
Well, my lad said that he'd seen somewhere on social media that there was some other club now in for him, but I don't know if that's true or not. I think the problem that we've got with the transfers is that we've got our targets. We do have a plan, but when you're after players that are in demand with other clubs, they're not quite as easy to do. And of course, with the way social media and the way that transfers are banded out now, with agents and everything, we get to see now with social media, and we're not used to it as Ipswich fans because we've only seen it for about 3 years, because before that we never had transfer windows, did we? I said it on the show last week. So I think the early signs and the early dealings and negotiations, we get to see that a little bit more now. We don't get the Marcus Harness at 11 o'clock that nobody knew about. They're really difficult when you're a team of interest now. We've been in the Premier League, we're now in the Championship, we're dealing with different types of agents. So I think that sort of stuff is leaked out a little bit earlier. So I think there's a part to play in. There's a part to play in that as well. But I think really just in the midfield, I think the club allowing Morsey to go, which I think is the right thing for Morsey. It's a good chance for him. He wasn't going to feature beyond this season, so the club decided to let him go. But I think that seemed to come quite quick, and that's left us a little bit short in midfield. But we've got numbers now, I guess, with Erkajus, so he's going to know the patterns of play and such like. So he's got a week now to get ready for Southampton. I don't know what pre-seasons he's had, so he's going to be eased in, I guess. So he's not going to be hitting the ground running, is he? But the striker,
no.
We need. Are we having one or are we having two? That's the thing. Is there two to come in?
Well,
is Ali going to stay? I mean, tonight there's moments where he looks absolutely brilliant, and then he falls over on the ball. I just don't know if we're a little bit above his level now in the club. Perhaps.
He played on the right this afternoon, didn't he? When he came on, he played on the right. Ali,
yes,
he played on the right.
Because of the other injuries. I mean, look at Bene. It's great to see him back, but was he really effective at all tonight? I didn't really see anything out of him. Again, back from a long-term injury, going into that type of game, that type of pace, a lot for him to do. So I didn't expect too much from him. So. I just feel that, again, we're going to get stronger in that department. I suppose every club can say that, but I think he'll be, we'll be stronger. We've got Burns to come back in October. We'll have more options then. And Philogene getting injured in training, taking a knock in the last game. That would have been another player somewhere off the bench to help us tonight. But Chaplin did well when he came on. I thought Chaplin played well when he came on. Give us links to play up. Give us a bit more sort of stability and passes through the middle. Sorry.
Yeah, I've just put a poll in the chat after a request from James. Thank you very much for that request. Was it a pen? Should it have been a pen? I can't remember now because I was listening to you at the same time as I was trying to write the question, Lee. But I put a poll up in the chat. So do put yes or no. It's very easy when it's a yes or no one. I like that. We can do more of those for the next 45 games if you like.
Now we've had a year in the Premier League, and I hate VAR. I want to scrap it. I look at those decisions and I think, what would have VAR done? Well, VAR would have given a penalty. VAR would have stayed with the referee's decision. A VAR would have given that as a pen, I'm sure. And I think they would have given the foul on what's the name in the first half for their goal. So I think that would have been given on by VAR as well.
Do you think so? Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I do. Because he's jumped up in the air. He's jumped and hit him. We've already talked about that. So,
all right.
Pen.
I don't know if it's my connection or your connection, Lee, but I'm losing you a little bit. I'll try and get you back in a second. Stay right there. Sorry. David's €5 donation. Thank you very much, David. It's a kind donation. Aid Keeper says, no excuses at all for getting players in They are there, but Ashton, the strict negotiation regime both protects us and restricts potential acquisitions. Hey, we are fishing in a very small pond, though. Let's be honest about it. We are, as Lee said, we are a team that's just come down from the Premier League. You are looking at a different caliber of player. You are looking at a smaller market, and there's also other clubs in that smaller market. Sheffield United, who stayed in the division, Southampton, who came down with you, etc., etc. So you're all sort of battling for a very limited number of players. These things perhaps do take time, and then of course you've got the players that could be leaving, maybe leaving, and what's happening there, etc. Kurt, your thoughts on the penalty that we got awarded? Was it a penalty? Should it have been a penalty? Were Town lucky, as many were saying, or as I've said at the start of the show? What are your thoughts on the penalty as they answer the question?
I mean, the ball gets headed back into the pathway of the striker, and therefore it got intercepted by someone's hand. So again, by the letter of the law, it's interfered with the play. That ball could have gone to the striker, could have gone back into the middle of the box, and therefore it is a pen. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very light one, and you'd probably be screaming for it. As a Birmingham fan, you're probably lamenting it a bit. But again, by the letter of the law, your hand has stopped that ball going back into the middle. So yeah, it's a penalty. It's just how it is. And after so many times last season of being screwed over with VAR checks and luck not going our way, I mean, to be fair, I think commentators said it. I don't think anyone in the crowd spotted that handball. It was only the players. I thought the ball was going out, and then I saw the referee put the whistle to his mouth. And to be fair, I thought he was just going to blow for another foul again. So then when he actually put it to the spot, I didn't greet it with any sort of reaction. I was almost I didn't know whether he was going to give a foul and a goal kick again. I couldn't figure it out. So it was only until I saw George Hurst's frosted tips start cheering to his mates that was the only time I actually realised that the penalty was given. But yeah, again, letter of the law, it is a penalty. You might call it soft, but that is what it is. It interfered with play, so I don't think there's any questions asked about it, really.
Yeah, and you won't be surprised. Sorry, go on, Lee.
Sorry, I just think where we were lucky with it was the fact that the referee spotted it.
Yeah,
because that could have easily been missed. Yeah. That's the only luck involved in it, that the referee spotted it. But I think if that had been in the Premier League and the ref hadn't spotted it, they would have called that. They would have stopped. They would have called the ref over on that. I'm sure.
That's fair. So far, 70% of people agree that it was a penalty. So far, on a Town fan media platform, you will not be surprised.
Did the Birmingham guy? He was on a. Did the Birmingham guy probably voted against that? I would think.
So far, I've got three, approximately, 3 Birmingham fans in the chat, or 30 Birmingham fans in the chat, or whatever the mathematics work out, because I can't do a quick arithmetic live. We've got Simon Lambert, great surname, Simon. Absolutely one of the more epic surnames. Of course, it's mine as well. But we did see off the pace in terms of the build-up play, lack of patterns of play, and no shots on target before the pen. Defense looks solid, though. It's a great opinion because his surname is Lambert. Welcome to the platform, so I'm not seeing your name here before. He also says Matt Sewell looks decent, won plenty of 50-50s. Look at those. He's 2 out of 2 for top opinions. Is this Mr. Lambert? Lee, let me ask you a question, all right, as we sort of round up the show. I did drop a link. If anyone wants to come on the show, you still got time. Click it. Come on, have your say. But as we round up, Lee, I'm going to ask you a question. Where are you now after game 1? Because there was some panic from some. Like, this is not good enough. We've been off the pace. We've had 0 shots or 5 shots or blah, 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 blah. There was some relax. 45 more of these still to come. 45 more ups and 45 more downs. And, they're not all going to be Birmingham riding the crest of momentum. Again, blah, 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 blah. Where are you now, Lee? Where's your confidence? 45 to go.
No different at all. You can't, what is it? One swallow doesn't make a summer, whatever way it goes. I said on the pre-game show that would be a draw. I think. I guess if the draw was different and we were to concede late, we'd feel devastated. But I think there's so much more to come. We know there's more to come. The great thing is that's not the end of the squad. So we're only going to get better. And we've just gone. where we've just gone, probably the toughest opening game that you could have, and we've come out with a draw. Whether by hook or by crook, it's a draw. But there's players that played tonight that aren't going to play probably. Players that are going to get better, and there are other players to come that we're going to buy. So we're only going to get stronger. So no change for me. We're still going to be pushing for promotion.
Curtis, how about yourself?
I like the Championship. I like it a lot more. I like it. I liked being in the Premier League, but I like the Championship. But I like the thought that these games can go either way. It adds a bit of suspense to it. I'm like Lee. It is what it is. It like he says, it was. I mean, could you get a harder game than that to start off with? You've got the newly promoted team who's just got record points coming up. I feel like you can't get any harder than that. You've got them riding the crest of momentum, like you said. It was us. It was us just like 2 years ago. So it is what it is, or a year ago, whatever it is. Time flies now.
It totally does.
But it was just us. So it's one of them. Like he says, that team is not the finished article, and like you said, there's players on that bench like that. The young lad, what is his name? Barbuck. Yep. I don't imagine he will be spending much time on our bench this year when we have finished bringing our squad together. It's not done. I don't imagine Taylor will start many games once our midfield's put together. So if we can play like that, albeit a bit poorly, and get a point out of it, in I would say I actually don't think many teams will go to Birmingham this season and snatch a point in the way that we have, especially. So yeah, if we can play like that and still get a point, I'll take it. And again, you don't look past Bromley of sorts, but what I would say is it's a good game for some of these new lads that we have got in order to maybe strike up a bit of cohesion in the squad again, because you are talking players of a lesser quality, so you might be able to build up more of a relationship and more of an understanding in a game where you would imagine you would have a bit more dominance in. So yeah, it's Championship football. Let's see how we go again. Let's see how we go.
Yeah.
Let's see how we go.
Absolutely. Don't forget we are part with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call for osteopath and physiotherapy services. You don't just have to sit on the floor like Lee does. You can give Freddie a call 01449 613 633. Got a couple of comments coming in. Chris Boyd doing some great work. He says McKenna, I think this is what McKenna said on Sky. Again, I've not seen it. I'm sat live watching it, so if it isn't, apologies. But Chris Boyd said McKenna didn't impose ourselves well enough, kept going. So early for our group, we'll get better. Gives us a base to start from, work to do. You're both nodding your heads. You both obviously agree with that one. From Mr. McKenna, Nathan W. Automatic promotion for the Tractor Boys. Difficult start, but sure will show our professional class and character moving forwards. Demo, flat opening match, overhyped as usual. Happy with the point. The Birchwood Vampire, who I believe is a Birmingham fan, says, if you'd offered me one on the kickoff, I'd have taken it. We got 1-1 and I'm furious. Funny game, good going from a Blues fan, which absolutely, sort of, fair point. And David said, Ipswich lacking a bit of flair this evening. Take the point and be thankful. Let's see where we are after 10 games. Of course, there's an additional 10-game point where you start to say, okay, this is where we may be in and around. We are live again tomorrow, 6 p.m. for more in-depth reaction. There's so much more we could say about this game today, from referee decisions to penalties to not penalties to individual performances. Who stood out, who didn't? Do you want to lose Nathan Broadhead? Did Jack Clark do enough to sort of quell that fear of losing Nathan Broadhead this evening? There's so much more we could get into, but we're going to do it all tomorrow. Join us live, 6 p.m. There'll be a live link for you to come on the platform and have your say. 70% of people, of 133 votes, 70% of people have said the penalty should have been a penalty. So there we go. That puts that debate to bed. Newsflash. I think I might disagree with it a little bit, but I'll go into it in more detail tomorrow. And don't forget, if you do want to help save lives and have the chance to win £1,000 every week, play the Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery by playing just £1 each week. You're helping to get their yellow helicopters flying. The Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery creates 80 winners every week, with prizes ranging from £50 to £1,000, over 18s only. T&Cs apply. And please, as I always say, whatever you do, gamble responsibly. As you can see, lads, I am very tired. I'm stuttering. I'm mumbling. I'm talking faster than my brain can keep up. So I'm going to go to bed because I've had a long old day. And Town rescued it right when they needed to. And they could have won it. And it came from a set piece. So, I mean, absolutely, I'm in dreamland. I've asked for set pieces to be dangerous. And we didn't score directly from the set piece, but we did win the penalty. I can't believe it. I'm in shock. But the championship is back, baby. And Town, hey, let's see where it goes. Thanks for joining me, lads. Thanks for watching. All at home. Take care. God bless.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down, oh, and I am blue.